Hey, welcome to Pillar Greenbird. Greenbird here. This video is for Bradley. I know, Bradley, you have been working some of those slabs that I sent you, which are identical to this one right here. This is, I believe, rainbow obsidian. There's a little bit of mahogany on the tip here, but I looked through this through the light, and there's not enough. It's not going to even show up in the end point. So, for all practical purposes, this is just going to be all obsidian. I mean, rainbow obsidian. So, these ground edges, those are a gift, because that's like a free platform. So even though they're already ground, I'd still grind them again. I don't blow off the powder, I just leave it on there. I mean, the base, we're going to grind that again anyway, but maybe for good measure we'll give it a grind. So this edge here, even though it's flat, it is a platform. Alright? Let's see, maybe I can get this zoomed in a little bit. So I've got my flaker. It could be a little sharper than that. I probably should sharpen it. That helps, but you don't want it too sharp either, because if you get it too sharp, it's not going to grip a good amount of the stone, and you'll get kind of wonky, thin flakes. So you're going to have to experiment with that and get happy in between. Normally, I would sharpen this more than this is, though. Let me show you another flaker. Here's another flaker that I have. And it's a lot sharper. And here's another flaker that I have that has a lot bigger of an edge. Just depends what you want to do. So, you had mentioned to me that you're having a hard time flaking. You're making gravel, which is normal. That's not a bad thing at all. That just means that you're smacking rock and having fun. So with these preforms, one thing that will help you a lot, I'm going to zoom back out a little bit, this hand with the pad. Put it right on your leg and just make it part of your leg. And this other hand, it may be connected to your leg, it may be out. That doesn't really matter much. But this non-dominant hand, where you have the pad and the stone, should be stuck to your leg, and that's because you'll be able to squeeze your legs in. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try not to jump ahead, is I'm going to hit it on this edge, not too far in. If you hit it too deep, you'll just get small chunks, right? What you want to think about is just skinning the surface of this point. So I'm going to go, see if I can get that on camera. I don't know if that's, I can't see through my glasses, they're so scratched, but basically like right on the edge. I'm going to push in with my pressure flaker and then pop out. And I like to start with the tip. for a number of reasons. One, because I think that, you know, the way the end shock works, I think when you thin the tip part and work down to the base, I think that it's more advantageous to not get breaks, get end shock and so forth. And two, if I want to snap the tip off, I'd rather snap it off now and fix it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put some pressure in and push out, just kind of like I'm scooping really, really frozen ice cream. Let's see what I got. There we go. Got a nice flake. That actually went all the way across. Easy on the tip. So now when you go to take that next flake, Bradley, don't take it right on that delta. See that? Let's see if I can get that. I don't know if I can see that. See that delta right there? Now, it's kind of hard to see because I didn't really take a great flake, but if you see where my flake is, see where that flake stops, that's where your delta is. Go down just a little bit more. See if I can give a good example. So I basically, what I do is I take that dip that was created by the flake, I push it all the way to the edge of the pad. So when I'm taking a flake, I'm actually, you know, far beyond where that delta is. So let's see if that, let's see what happens. There we go. And you can see what that does is that takes a nice flake off and still leaves another delta right here. Delta, platform, whatever. And this is just that one side that I'm taking. I'm still working off that one side. So I'm just going to drive down. Same thing. I'm going to take that where that delta ends. I'm going to push it right up against the end of the groove of my pad. It's going to feel like you're pushing it too far forward. It's going to feel like you should be closer, but just trust your instincts. Because as that flake pops off, it flares outward. And what that will do is that not only will that give you a good flake pattern, but if for some reason you get a bad flake and it doesn't travel, it leaves you that delta to be able to come back and fix it later. Alright, you can see I wasn't really on my leg that time, I did it anyway, and it still traveled all the way across. Look at that. So I'll take that, wherever that delta is, where that edge stops, I'm going to push that straight across my pad, maybe even a little bit in, we'll see. Depends. You'll get to kind of feel it. Down and out. Nice overflake. There we go. A little bit down and out. Scooping frozen ice cream. Alright, there we go. This is a really good example because check this out. That flake did not go all the way across like I wanted it to, but because I spaced those deltas out a little bit, I can come back. I still have a good platform here or a delta. I can blast off that edge. I mean, I could probably get this from the other side, you know, really, but look how close that the saw marks are on that side. I'm going to need to fix that up, and I'll do that on the second pass. And that's why you want to give yourself a little bit of space. Yep, that was a good one. Wasn't bad either. So this is my first pass on the first side. You can see definitely needs some cleanup work right there, so I've got my work cut out for me, but I can do it. So even though it's ground, gonna grind it again. Leave the powder on there. I know some people blast it off or they don't like it on there, but I say leave it on there. So I did the one side. Some people will do another side on the opposing, another run on the opposing side. I like to just take one side at a time. So I've gotten it this way. Now I'm going to blast it this way, and I'll flip it over. So we're still same thing. We're going to do down and pluck out. Obviously a little bit more gentle on the tip because it's smaller. And as you work your way down, try and give yourself a little bit of distance. Don't be taking your flakes right next to each other. And you might snap the tip off right here. That happens, and I might do it too. And what you want to do is, if you play guitar, think of a bar chord. Don't press right there in that middle where that groove is, because that will snap it every time. Support it on, just like everything else. End shock. Tip, bass. Tip, bass. Okay, let it fall out of the groove there. So now I'm down to that point where I either need to do a really aggressive overshot flake there, or I'm just going to have to touch it up later. And I think I'm going to go for an overshot flake because I think I can do it. Let's see. Again, positioning my delta right on the edge of where my notch is, so I'm not taking like a flake right next to the other flake and giving it a little bit of space. Yeah, there we go. We did it. Yep. So again, I went down, like inward and plucking out. See that? I kind of tried to accentuate the motion, like down and out. All right. I'm not going to finish this because I just don't feel like finishing a slab today, but I hope that helps. And what you're going to do is you're going to take these ground edges, you're going to grind them more, and you're just going to do the same thing on the other side. You're just taking small passes. You're going to probably do this 3, 4, maybe more times. So don't worry about getting it thin on the first pass. I mean, if you were doing that, you'd be zigzagging. And I don't see the point in doing that. I mean, you could zigzag, I suppose. You get a real beveled point. That would be sharp. But if you want to get a nice thin point, practice your pressure flaking, the best thing to do is just like what I said. So you've got your deltas here that you work off of. But before you even do that, you got to clean off this side here, just like we did on this side. Right? So Bradley, I hope this helped you. And this is just a basic video. I know I didn't finish it or clean the point up or anything like that, but you know, that should help you a lot. Again, the biggest tips I can tell you is space out your flakes. Don't take one flake right next to another. Drop it down a little bit because your flakes will flare out. And that will not only give you that good flake pattern, but it'll also, if you can see, I'm not sure if you can see this or not, but you can see I still have deltas. If I needed to clean up something that didn't come off right, I could. And I'll need to, because, I mean, look at that. That's not even near a center line. But I skinned the whole top of that stone off. Alright, let me know if you have any questions. Alright?